What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Magisterial Madrid YouTube channel. Today we're going to be discussing the Neymar transfer and if there's been any development, which there has been. So we're just going to jump straight into it. So starting off, we're going to be talking about the Marca reports, which is a pretty big news because, Marca was pretty silent these past, day or two, but they've come out and they finally have actually, spoken on it, which is a big deal because Marca is pretty much, Real Madrid's earpiece, and it's a big deal. So Marca ended up posting the image that they end up printing in newspapers and online, of course, and the title was Neymar in the Horizon. Which is a very interesting title. Pretty much these rumors aren't really fading, and pretty much they're actually just getting bigger. And Marca actually showed a cover from April which tells Neymar's wish to play with Hazard. So he clearly is close with some of these players on our team. So, that's a really big deal. And even AS actually commented about it, saying Neymar's auction, I believe that was the title. And pretty much saying that it's only between, us and Barcelona that can sign him. But we already know that PSG don't want to do business with Barcelona. And, we know that Barcelona at the moment have ruled out the deal. At least the president has said he's ruled out the deal. And, with their whole wage structure, they can't afford it. So we're Neymar's only real option, at least at the moment. And PSG, we have a great relationship with them, and they'd be willing to deal with us. So I think we're Neymar's only real option, at least at the moment, unless something drastically changes. Now, the real biggest report of the day actually came from L'Equipe. But L'Equipe actually talked about it, and they gave us pretty much a little more detail, but overall mostly the same stuff that we already knew, but it's just another huge source, of course the biggest source in France, giving us more validation. And pretty much the report was, I'm reading this from @BlancoTalks on Twitter, and he tweeted out, big one coming from L'Equipe, who are saying that Zidane did not say no to a possible Neymar arrival, which of course that's a big deal, but he wanted to wait and see what happens with the Pogba deal. Now that the transfer window in England is closed, Pogba is pretty much impossible, so let's see what happens with the Neymar saga. So now this is just starting to become extremely interesting. Now, if it's true that Zidane did give the go-ahead, then I definitely think that this deal gets a lot more interesting, because if we're able to convince Zidane, which I think that we may just be able to do, if we're able to do it and the Pogba deal looks impossible, then I think that Neymar to Real Madrid, it may actually happen, which is pretty crazy. But of course we're looking too ahead of ourselves, so pretty much we just have to kind of wait and see what ends up happening with this. Now, other than Neymar, there's been only one Van de Beek report today, and it was just about AS talking about the deal. It's pretty much stuff that we already know once the UCL qualifiers for Ajax are done. At least that's some of the reports that I've seen. And other than that, it's pretty much just been all about Neymar. And I've seen a lot of people ask, how would we even really set up? And I just think that it's a transfer that you just kind of have to do and figure out later. When a top 3 or top 5 player in the world comes along and becomes available for a relatively cheap price in today's market, then, I feel like you have to jump at that chance. And I really, really, really hope that we do end up getting Neymar, because I just think I've been convinced that I want him, and I'm not 100% convinced that we'll get him. I still think that it's a very low chance we'll get him until we see some real development, but I do think it's very interesting, and I do hope that something comes of it. Now, overall, how I think we would actually set up, I think that Neymar would most likely play on the right. At least that's what I would do personally. Or, maybe I'd potentially play him on the left and move Hazard to center attacking mid, or maybe even him on the right. There's a lot of options, and, even if Neymar does get injured at some point because he's had some injury troubles, then, we have people like Vinicius and a lot of those other players that we can rely on, so we're very deep there. So I think we'll be able to give Neymar a lot of rotation, so I think we'll be able to keep him a lot healthier, unlike PSG. And overall, I think that if you add a player like Neymar into this team, giving us pretty much a guaranteed 30 goals a season player, then I think that it just completely changes the dynamic for us, and I really think that we should go and do this deal. And if it comes down to it, if it's Neymar or Zidane, then that's pretty much a coin toss for a lot of people. Me personally, it's really tough, because although I love Zidane and I back him more than a lot of Madrid fans. There's some people who turn on him or have already turned on him very fast, which I think is ridiculous. But I'm fully on board with Zidane. But at the end of the day, you don't turn down a top 5, top 3 player in the world. But yeah, that's pretty much it from me. If you enjoyed today's video, then don't forget to leave a like, and also comment down below on what you think will happen with the Neymar deal. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will catch you guys next time. Hala Madrid.